Get ready for the dictation. Start. I am delighted that all of you have been able to join us here at this very important meeting. This meeting is important in many ways, but more so because the subject that you are going to discuss has great relevance for improving our cooperative credit delivery system, which in turn is vital for a qualitative jump in the performance of our agriculture. I would like a very frank and free discussion on how we can collectively give effect to the recommendations of the Task Force on Cooperative Credit Systems. Let me first thank Professor Vidya and his colleagues for their excellent work. They have produced a very useful and thought provoking report, and it is now for the political leadership, both at the central and state, to rise to the occasion to give their ideas a practical shape. In the last decade, the growth of our agricultural sector has not kept pace with either our needs or our legitimate ambitions. If our economy has to grow at 7 to 8% per annum, and it must do so if we have to eliminate poverty within the next decade, agricultural too must demonstrate a growth rate of about 4% per annum. For this to happen, there has to be a major improvement in our agricultural production practices. There has to be greater commitment to innovation in the technologies that are brought to bear in farming, and an enhancement in the investments being made in the entire agricultural production chain. This requires, and that's inevitable, growing monetization and growing commercialization of the agricultural economy, perhaps at a pace never thought of before. As our agricultural system gets commercialized with increasing participation of farmers in markets not only for agricultural products but also for agricultural inputs, farming starts taking on a new commercial and economic meaning. In such a scenario, and I dare say that such a transformation of our agriculture is essential. Easy availability of agricultural credit has a very important influence on agricultural production, on agricultural investment, and on technological upgradation of our agriculture. Therefore, we need to put in place a credit delivery system that is equal to the task and the challenges that our agricultural economy faces. In our institutional framework, agricultural credit was designed to be delivered through a multi agency mechanism consisting of commercial banks, regional rural banks, and the cooperative credit system. This multi agency mechanism worked well over a period of time. Cooperatives have played an important role in the delivery of credit to the farm sector and have oiled the wheels of the rural economy. The system, we must recognize, developed an unparalleled penetrative reach even in remote, far off areas. It is also clear that as compared to the commercial banks and regional rural banks, cooperatives have a much higher proportion of clients from among small and marginal borrowers, and they constitute the great majority of our farming community. However, it is also a fact that flaws and institutional bottlenecks have come to be observed in the last decade or more. The cooperative credit system, which has a very important role, has failed to live up to our expectation to the desired extent. The contribution of cooperatives to the supply of farm credit has dropped sharply from about 70% to about 30%. This has contributed to rural distress in large sections of our farming community. In my own travels across the country in rural areas, the problem of declining institutional credit for agriculture has been a common and persistent complaint of farmers in distress. This is why the National Common Minimum Program places significant emphasis not only on enhancing rural credit but also revitalizing the cooperative sector. We had set an ambitious target last year of doubling agricultural credit flow in 3 years, and we are on target so far. However, much more needs to be done. We need to ensure that the proportion of investment credit increases even as agricultural credit rises. We need to ensure that the needs of small and marginal farmers who are even more dependent on informal sources of credit are met through the institutional credit system so that they can be rescued from the clutches of the traditional village moneylender. All this, of course, requires a strong, healthy, dynamic, and efficient cooperative credit system. Cooperatives may not have delivered as per our expectations, but they need to be revitalized and made effective. I recall in the early 50s, Professor Dr. Gargill presided over a path breaking report on rural credit, and the theme of that report was cooperatives have failed, but cooperative must succeed. I think that theme is as relevant today as it was. If India's rural economy is to measure up to the challenge of its regeneration and revitalization, cooperatives are today at the crossroads. In many states, we only have cooperatives in name, with very little stakeholder participation in their management. There have been no elections held for years. Government officials and ministers at the state level run the affairs of many of these so called cooperatives. There is no proper audit, little accountability, often and poor governance. Stop.